Hello and welcome to AppSecEngineer. My name is Kishore and I'm the Chief Evangelist of AppSecEngineer. Today, I'm going to show a short demo that calls out the unique aspects of AppSecEngineer, making it a very, very unique proposition to product software teams when it comes to application security training. The reason why we built AppSecEngineer was to address a chronic gap in the application security market, wherein we heard this consistent and recurring feedback from people who would attend a lot of our training programs and courses at events like Black Hat and OWASP over the last decade, consistently stating that the training that was available to them via their organizations was not really relevant for their requirements or purposes. And most of the training was either geared towards primarily attack-oriented training or how to break into an application, which was predominantly relevant only to security engineers, or was built out from a defensive standpoint of just providing a basic scenario of something is wrong with a particular line of code, spot the vulnerability, and here are your 4 or 5 choices as multiple choice questions and quizzes. Now, this in itself was not a relevant or practical exercise of understanding application security. It did not give the participants a practical way of understanding how to implement application security as part of their projects and applications. And that is the chronic need that application security today is geared up to meet. So AppSecEngineer is a product software team application security training platform. Our platform is geared towards training the entire product software team across multiple different roles within the product software team on application security. Be it developers who need a good amount of secure coding training in addition to other areas. We are also looking at cloud engineers who need cloud security understanding. We are looking at DevOps engineers who need to understand security automation and DevSecOps. We are looking at product architects and security architects to help them understand threat modeling and security architecture. And increasingly that many developers today and many software teams today are adding AI and LLM components into their applications. We also provide courses on GenAI and LLM security. Since that places us in a very unique position in the application security space, let me tell you a little bit more about AppSecEngineer. So AppSecEngineer has 3 primary learning tools. We have courses, we have challenges, and we have playgrounds. We'll go into each one. So as the term suggests, courses are our primary learning tool. All of our users would primarily go into courses for their training requirements. Since I said in the beginning that AppSecEngineer is a product software team learning platform, it is geared to train the entire product software team on the various diverse aspects of application security. With that being said, as you can see, the multiple different areas that we cover as part of our training. So we are covering secure coding very extensively as part of our AppSec and advanced AppSec learning paths. We're covering cloud security across all 3 primary clouds, AWS, Azure, and GCP. We have security automation built out with DevSecOps. We have cloud native security using containers and Kubernetes. We have threat modeling and security architecture for product architects and security architects. And we have GenAI and LLM security. We're one of the only platforms that provide cloud security learning across all 3 clouds, and one of the only ones providing comprehensive GenAI and LLM security courses as well. While one aspect of what I talked about is the broad coverage that AppSecEngineer provides, in addition to that, we are also providing all of these courses in 90% hands-on learning environments. So another chronic problem that we have seen in the industry is that people do not engage with training with other platforms. We have heard this from many enterprise administrators, L&D managers who say that we bought training, we took up a training platform for an entire year, but we did not see robust engagement from the software team. At best, people used it for a month or 2, and then after that, people forgot about it. So our goal with AppSecEngineer, and the reason why almost all of our learning is done in a hands-on environment, is to essentially address that. To address and ensure that the training is engaging, hands-on, and is relevant and teaches relevant application security implementation techniques to software teams and software engineers, ensuring that there is regular, robust adoption of the platform across the year, giving L&D managers, giving security leaders a really good report at the end saying that, hey, this is how our training has done across the year. People have used it quite robustly. Here are the skills that they have gained. So essentially gives a very good signal towards training return on investment, instead of just having the training platform which was spent in for the entire year and then used in a very lackluster manner. So AppSecEngineer with its hands-on courses ensures that there is high adoption, regular engagement with the platform, and there is addition of new content and new courses new material on a monthly basis, ensuring that people always have something to come back to, always something to look forward to, new material to look forward to, and engage in with AppSecEngineer. All right, so with that being said, we cover multiple different areas broadly across application security. We give the user many different filtering criteria right from the beginning. They can filter down their courses using these topic clusters. They could go into the proficiency based on their level of experience. They could go in, somebody who's joined in your organization completely new, is not highly experienced, maybe has a year or two experience, can go into beginners. People who are more experienced, been in your organization for a while, 5 to 6 years, can go into intermediate, and from there, so on and so forth towards advanced courses. We also have a role definition within AppSecEngineer. This is very important. And that's why I said that AppSecEngineer is a training platform for product teams and not just developers. We are moving away from the traditional mindset that application security training means training developers in secure coding. Developers are not just looking at secure coding today. They are deploying their applications to cloud. They are looking at adding LLM components to their applications. They are looking at cloud native components. They need to consider product security and secure design using security architecture. So we are covering all of these topics, all again in a hands-on environment. Now let's just take a quick look at some of these courses. As I said, you could filter it down based on these parameters. You could also filter it based on popular vulnerability types. So I've just taken up injection as one vulnerability type, and I will quickly go into one of these courses. This is SQL injection for Java, and I will just open up a course. Now, another thing that you will see is that a lot of our courses are very short. So we have essentially designed our courses purpose-built for making it short micro-learning courses, because we understand that today, once again, product teams, software teams, developers do not have all the time in the world to engage in large, high-duration training programs. Adoption is something that automatically will drop if a singular training program that developers need to take up is going to be 5 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours, 16 hours. If you go into multiple hours, developers will tune out because they have their own KRAs that they need to satisfy, and this is not a primary KRA for them. So in order to ensure that the training mandates of the organization are met, training as part of compliance mandates are met, we are giving you short micro-learning courses. So this particular course that you're looking at, attacking and defending SQL injection with Java EE, is all of 15 minutes by way of video viewing time. And even if you look at the 3 labs that are part of this program, it will at best take a developer anywhere between 60 to 90 minutes at the max to complete this. Now that is a very, very reasonable requirement for a developer to complete, as compared to saying that, hey, here is a course on understanding SQL injection and it will take you 5 to 6 hours to complete. Automatically, you will see that developers will not adopt such a training program and such a training structure. So we have built AppSecEngineer with that in mind. Now, for some of the initial learning, you will see there are some videos which establish the concept, but these are very, very short videos, and then you will quickly go into the labs. So let me just open up one of the labs. And as you will also see here, it says there are 2 labs. One is an attack lab, one is a defense lab. There is again a reason why we built it this way. So we received feedback across multiple years in live training programs, in conferences, and from many of our users who are using our labs as part of private training programs, saying that, we really understand and really like your labs because you helped us understand what the attack is, how does the attack work, and the impact that it has. All of the other training programs that I have seen as part of my organization and what they provide to me is essentially just giving me a list of do's and don'ts, and then just pointing me saying that, hey, here is a piece of code. It has this problem. What will be the defense? And this is the defense. Please just add this defense to the code. That kind of a training lacks the necessary context that developers need. It is essentially human nature. Any developer who will say that, hey, I've created a piece of code, I've tested it extensively, it works at a functionality level, they will want to essentially check that code and deploy it into production. They will not be very, very open to saying that, okay, you need to add few more things to the code in order to make it secure, without giving them the context, because essentially this adds in more time, more effort on their part, and they would automatically say, as part of my KRAs, my code is ready to go today to be deployed. So if you do not really give me a good reason to why I should add additional aspects to my code, you may say security, but you need to give them the context. And to establish that, to help developers understand what an attack is, what is the context, why do you need to build a defense, we created both attack and defense lab. So with that being said, let me just quickly launch a lab. The lab provisioning process, everything is built out from AppSecEngineer. The user does not need to bring in any resources from their side, any kind of hardware or cloud-based resources from their side. Everything is encapsulated within AppSecEngineer, usable directly via our browser. The lab provisioning process is starting, and this will take about 30 seconds to complete. In the meantime, the user can go through an interactive blog kind of a step-by-step process, which calls out what is happening. What are you going to be doing? What is the scenario? And this scenario is something that you will be exercising as part of the lab. Steps are provided in a very, very detailed fashion to ensure that users do not feel stuck at any point in time. So each step is outlined as to what is happening in each step, and the scenario is well laid out for the users right at the top, right? So I believe the lab provisioning process is complete, and pretty soon should give me an access lab option here once this is complete. Yeah, this is done, and I should be able to access the lab. Here we go. All right, now as you can see, I have accessed the lab. This opens up a new tab, which will open up into an Visual Studio IDE environment. Again, something which is very, very familiar to developers as they work on a similar kind of an environment very regularly as part of their work. This opens up a terminal, and once the terminal is opened up, you can start essentially bringing in your commands from the step-by-step processes that have been laid out, ensuring that the users can move along through the labs without feeling stuck, without feeling dejected, without saying that I don't know what to do next. They have clear steps built out for them. And all of this essentially, the command that I executed is building out the entire environment. All of these is building out as we speak in front of us, and then just follow along with the steps. So this makes the labs very, very easy and very simple to use. It removes all of the headache and all of the overhead that is needed on a user's part to bring in all of these resources, vulnerable applications, cloud environments, storage boxes, provisioning, so on and so forth. It removes all of that overhead on part of the user, and everything is encapsulated within AppSecEngineer via your browser. So it makes it very, very simple and easy to use, and the user can essentially follow the rest of the steps in order to complete the lab. So this is a quick demo of the way that our lab work. Now, almost all labs that you will see within AppSecEngineer, all of the same kind of process. You have an attack lab, you have a defense lab. You start the lab with a provisioning process, which opens up a dedicated cloud environment for you. And from there, you essentially follow the steps to complete the lab. You will also see challenges that are built in within the programs as well. So these challenges are also hands-on challenges where you will need to implement changes in code in order to fix the vulnerability that is presented to you. So it's not just a blind multiple choice, unengaging kind of an option. There is a hands-on based challenge environment that will be presented to you as part of each training program, each course in AppSecEngineer. So this is a quick description of our courses. Quickly moving into Playgrounds. Now, Playgrounds is something that we built specifically for more advanced and intermediate users. Playgrounds are, as the term suggests, playgrounds, it is a lab-only kind of an environment which allows intermediate to advanced users to go into the lab and essentially practice out and sharpen their skills. So while we say it is intermediate and advanced because we strip out some of the lectures and videos from this, because we understand that the people who will be taking up our playgrounds will be people who have experience, do understand security concepts, and want to go in and practice all of these concepts. These playground environments, as the term suggests, are also a fairly bit open, which means that the user can also change in some of the defense and attack parameters that are there in the lab. They will be able to go in and modify the code and essentially be able to take a look at what is happening. They will be able to change the code in these playground environments. So that is playgrounds. And then we have challenges. And as challenges, as the term suggests, this is a hands-on environment built to check the user's skills. So user can go in and check their own skills, or this can be deployed as part of a assessment that will be provided by the admin. So they could do that as well using our challenge environments. Now, these challenges are highly hands-on, and contrary to the courses and playgrounds that you have seen, the challenges essentially strip out all of the help or all of the instruction that you would have seen as part of playgrounds or courses. As the term suggests, a challenge is supposed to essentially challenge the user so that they go in, understand based on the training that they have taken. So therefore, as part of the usage, we say that, okay, do some of our courses, do some of our playgrounds, then go in and take up a challenge. So in order to do a challenge, you have to go in, identify what the problem is, figure out what needs to be done to fix it, and then make a change in the code to fix the problem. And that is how a challenge works. Once the challenge is done, once you feel that you have satisfactorily solved the challenge, you will have to enter a command called ASC challenge, and that will essentially allow you to complete the challenge, giving you a unique challenge completion code, which you will enter here, based on which the challenge will be completed. Now, like I said, a lot of these challenges and a lot of these courses can be rolled out by admins, by account admins on the enterprise to many of the users. So we have built out a very robust admin panel that allows a lot of the aspects which is related to training administration. While one aspect of the training is to make it engaging, hands-on, teaching practical implementation and application security, which engages the users, there is also a large piece of the puzzle that comes in with respect to training administration, because large organizations, especially when you're looking at large software teams, need a lot of hand-holding, need a lot of guidance when it comes to understanding what training that they need to do. So our admin panel essentially is geared out to allowing account admins and senior security leaders, product leaders, in order to roll out these programs, guided learning programs for their large user bases as part of the software team. So we have journeys that specifically built out for engaging developers on security basics using our OWASP top 10 programs, again language specific, or compliance mandates using PCI DSS, again language specific. You can very quickly roll out each of these programs, do a quick start, roll it out, which goes out to all users, or you could select your teams, your users, even a pass percentage. So if I say here it's 50% here and you roll out 10 courses as part of a journey, if the user or the team of users complete 5 to 6 courses, that means that they have completed the assignment and will be given a completion certificate right at the end, automatically generated from the system, rolled out to their email addresses or to their Slack. So all of this is available and integrations are built out within AppSecEngineer. So this is a quick way of rolling out pre-built curated learning programs very quickly for admins to various teams based on their roles and their requirements within the organization. You could also do a full custom create of an assignment wherein you choose different courses, you choose different teams, start dates, end dates. You can have all of the different parameters and really tailor a program built for a very specific team or a set of teams. You can go further and create assessments or tournaments within the organization, which allow you to bucket a group of challenges and then roll that out to users. So this essentially becomes a way to understand the skills and objectively measure those skills. So it allows the admins to objectively measure those skills across the organization by rolling out different tournaments. So you could do that within the organization. And the way that we have seen many of our enterprises use it is that they start off with a lot of course assignments and journeys. And as the users are completing these journeys and course assignments at the end of each quarter or right at the beginning of the next quarter, they launch a series of tournaments or challenges. And then you will get series of reports which tell you how users have performed. And then they use that as a basis to create a security champions program or some kind of a employee recognition program which rewards them on good training performance, but also gives you the capability to call out those who are lagging behind, essentially giving you a way to tell them to pull their socks up and get moving along with the training. In addition to that, from a management standpoint, one of the key feedback that we have heard from L&D managers, from security leaders, is that we do not have a good way to report on the training performance. We do not have a good way to report on skills gained by the organization, gained by the software team. AppSecEngineer provides a ton of different reports that allows you to measure that very quickly. So these are very quick dashboards that you can show out in your quarterly review meetings or management meetings. It also gives you a leaderboard, which are the top 5 users, top skills gained by the organization, team usage, where is the most high performing teams to the most lowest performing teams, popular courses, and skills. Again, it gives you a skills chart. All of this is automatically populated based on the courses that people and teams are completing within the organization. You have different reports as well. You can break this down to different users, get a detailed view of users as well, and understand what they have done as part of their courses, assignments they have completed, courses they are working on, so on and so forth. And you can get team-based reports as well. Again, similar to user reports, the same kind of slice and dice that you could see. In addition to that, for more compliance-oriented reporting, you have journeys reports and assignment reports, which are again available. And all of these reports are exportable via APIs. So if you're already using other platforms for your dedicated reporting on compliance and PCI DSS reporting, you can essentially export our reports using API calls and then push that forward into your dedicated reporting engines. And from there, report that to your auditors at the time of audit. So we make a lot of the reporting and training administration very simple and easy as part of AppSecEngineer. These are some of the aspects that I had to show you today. I will focus in on a more detailed demo next time. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much.